Do you hate rigid structure and strict routines? Yet you still wish you could become more disciplined. Most of us want the results of being more disciplined. A fitter body, better grades, a successful business, but don't like the feeling of being boxed in by structure. By the end of this video, I'm going to teach you how you can gain insurmountable discipline without the rigid structure of a daily plan. The first thing you need to do is embrace resistance. Think of discipline like playing a video game. In any good game, your character needs to face resistance in order to level up. There are enemies to beat and obstacles to overcome. No challenges equals no growth. And real life is very similar to this. If you don't face any challenges in life, then you won't grow as a person. One simple trick that I found works really well is this. Anytime you don't want to do a task, like getting out of bed early, going to the gym, studying, or working on your business, imagine that a little goblin has spawned in front of you. That goblin represents resistance. Your mission is to slay the goblin by taking action. If you don't want to get up, slay the goblin. Count down from 3, then 2, then 1, and then just get up. Every time you do something that you didn't want to do before, you gain real-life experience points, and you level up in real life. It's literally like grinding out an RPG game. The more goblins, or uncomfortable tasks that you slay, the stronger you become. This gamified mindset has what really helped me turn a hated task into a challenge that's worth fighting for. You start chasing that sort of feeling of adventure and overcoming obstacles. Then discipline becomes a quest and not a chore. And here's a tip that I found out. The more resistance that you feel towards this task that you don't want to be doing, the more XP you gain by doing it. So if you really don't want to go for a run early in the morning, just think of all the XP that's on the table if you actually do it. High resistance equals big growth. Gamify your life and watch how all of these tasks go from things that you could have never imagined doing before to things that are much easier to do than they were before. By the way, if you're serious about leveling up, please consider hitting that subscribe button because I post weekly videos talking about self-improvement, and if you want to join a community of like-minded people, hit that subscribe button and of course hit that like button. Now let's get back to it. Now let's dive into the science of this because it's actually super motivating once you understand the science behind it. Science shows that willpower is actually basically just another muscle in your brain. You can actually grow it and strengthen it by using it. In fact, researchers have actually found the place. It's called the anterior mid-cingulate cortex. And I know probably a lot of you have heard about this because it's talked about by David Goggins, Andrew Huberman. But if you're thinking, oh, I've heard of this before, but you should really stick around because it's actually super interesting. So the anterior mid-cingulate cortex, or the AMCC, actually triggers when you are exerting willpower. And here's the crazy part. When you use it enough and when you use it to do stuff that you don't want to do, it actually grows inside your brain. It's like doing bicep curls, but just for your brain. It's awesome. Scientists have actually done studies with different people with different lifestyles. The AMCC tends to be much smaller in obese people and much larger in athletes. Why is this? Well, it's because athletes spend the most time pushing themselves out of their comfort zones. So their willpower, quote unquote, muscle is much more developed. In a podcast I watched with Andrew Huberman, he says that the AMCC especially grows larger on people who consistently push themselves outside of their comfort zones and who bring on change. This is literally your brain's adaptation to do hard things. Can you imagine how big the AMCC must have been in our ancestors when they had to force themselves to go out on a hunt to find a woolly mammoth or something? It's kind of sick to think about, actually. And some scientists are actually calling this region of the brain the seat of willpower, or even sometimes the seat of the strength to live, because it is so tied to perseverance. But all of this sciencey talk, what does it mean for you? Well, every time you do something that you don't want to do, you are physically changing your brain. You are making your willpower center stronger, thicker, and even more capable than it ever has been. And conversely, every time you shy away from a task that you don't want to do, this part of your brain stays weak, or it even shrinks. This is huge because I see so many people talking about dopamine as some abstract thing, some dopamine detox that rewires your brain. But they all talk about it in sort of an abstract sense. But these findings show that it's actually biological. So if you hate structure, that's fine. You don't need an elaborate schedule every day. But you do need challenges to chew on daily. You have to seek out resistance in any form that you can handle. This could be a cold shower, a grueling workout, or even studying for an extra hour every single day. Every act of pushing yourself is like one rep in the mental gym. And you'll find after a while that what took you a lot of effort before doesn't take you a lot of effort now. That's how you know you're strengthening your circuits in your brain. Now, let's talk a little bit about motivation, because motivation is very different from discipline. Discipline for the sake of discipline doesn't last at all. You can force yourself for a few weeks by just doing it for the sake of doing it, but then after that period, you're starting to ask yourself, why am I doing this? And when you don't have an answer, you will inevitably quit. You need a personal reason to fuel your discipline. Basically, if you have a strong why, you can basically overcome anything. And I know a lot of people watching will watch this video and want to start tomorrow with 10 amazing habits that will just magically appear overnight. But this is one danger that I see in a lot of different people. They have an all or nothing mentality. This is when you swing from lazy mode, aka watching this YouTube video on the couch, straight into military discipline mode the next day. For example, you hate structure, but tomorrow you're gonna get up at 5 a.m., you're gonna take a cold shower, you're gonna go for a run, you're gonna eat a healthy breakfast, you're gonna go to the gym later in the day, you're gonna work on your side hustle or small business, and basically overhaul your entire life by 8 p.m. And if you actually do all of that the next day, which 99% of people will not do, you're overwhelmed the next day. You are absolutely miserable and tired. So when you get up the next morning, you hit the snooze button and you just say, screw it. This all or nothing mentality will completely sabotage your life. And I know because I've been there. If you want to do everything perfectly, you'll likely not end up doing anything consistently. A disciplined person isn't the person who can grind like a machine for one day. It's the person who can do small, meaningful actions day after day with no clear or immediate reward. The key is to start with ridiculously small actions, so small that they actually feel kind of stupid. Why? Well, it's simply because if you haven't had a daily structure or you're new to discipline, your mind will basically just reject every idea that they have of discipline, and it'll basically rebel against these massive changes that are happening. But it won't fight a tiny change as much. It's basically you telling your brain, hey, this is so small, it can't hurt you in any way, so just let it go. And yet that small action is progress. For example, if you don't want to limit yourself to the hour-by-hour routine that I mentioned before, you can do these habits that I'm about to list. Do you want to start reading daily? Start with simply 5 pages a day. If you can't do 5 pages, do 4 or even 3. Anything that's small is still progress. If you want to exercise, commit to doing 10 push-ups a day. Just 10. If you need to wake up earlier, just wake up 15 minutes earlier than you did the night before. And if your room is an absolute disaster, just pick up one thing and put it in a drawer every single day. Here's what's gonna happen. After you read 5 to 10 pages a day consistently for a week, your brain will start being content with the fact that you're just reading 5 pages a day. And then from there, you can level it up again, even just a small amount. And then if you keep doing that consistently, keyword consistently, then you will be able to gain the discipline that so many YouTubers have been talking about. But I want you to be very, very careful because your brain actually wants to sabotage you. It basically wants to say, this tiny action doesn't give me any immediate reward. So why am I doing it in the first place? I need a drastic overhaul. And it's basically just trying to trigger that all or nothing mentality. But the reality is, if you just compound over time and become 1% better every day, even just 1% will be 37 times better in just a year. Your brain might not be impressed by 5 minutes of walking on day 1, but by day 30, if you're doing 150 minutes of walking, then that's something to really be proud of. So we've covered a lot of ground in this video, and here I want to actually put in some habits that you can do and maybe a possible action plan for the coming weeks and the coming months in 2026. I want you to get a notebook out and really listen to me. Number 1 is write down what you really want and why. I want you to get a list down of what you actually want to achieve in 2026, or even just the first quarter. But at least the first quarter. But you have to make sure that you only include things that you really care about, not what others have put into your brain as what you should want. And then for each item, I want you to write down why you want to achieve each thing, because then this will give you clarity and make it not some elusive thing that you try to think about every day. The second thing I want you to write down is pick one tiny daily habit to do. Pick one thing from your list that you just wrote down and start working on it today. Not the day after that, but today. Because the only way you're going to make progress is by taking action now and not later. The third thing is using the goblin slaying method. There are many ways you can sort of gamify your life in this way, but I prefer this sort of goblin slaying method because I played a lot of video games as a kid and it's just what felt familiar to me. And if you want an app that really helps you with this, one that personally I use a lot is Habitica. They don't sponsor me in any way. I just really like it and I use it a lot. Basically, you just put down your habits, and if you complete them, you basically gain XP, level up your character, and then you can go on quests with friends, defeat monsters. It's really cool. But that's a cool way of gamifying your life while having an actual tracker to it. But if you don't need that, then just don't use it. The fourth thing is you need to actually increase your challenge. Like I said before, you can do tiny little things every day, but you should start to add minutes or pages to that task every day, because otherwise you're just doing that small little task when the goal is to be able to do more of that task and better yourself over time. Number 5 is you need to control your environment. There are a lot of toxic environments in today's world. This could be friend groups, this could be even the place that you're staying, like a hometown, for example. If your hometown doesn't have anything for you, you shouldn't stay there. Like me, I decided to take a gap year and I've been traveling around the world for 4 months already, and currently I'm in Southeast Asia. You can see the Petronas Towers next to me. I am in Malaysia right now. It's really beautiful and it's making me so motivated to make videos and to start to become disciplined day by day, step by step. And I went to the gym with some friends and it was truly an amazing experience. And none of that would have happened if I didn't change my environment. So I urge you to change your environment, get out of your comfort zone, and really go all in on 2026, because I really want what's best for you. I love seeing other people do well, and of course I want to do well as well. So let's do it together in 2026, and I really want to see everyone maybe even down in the comments telling me your goals or telling me what you want to do in 2026. And the sixth thing is track and celebrate these small wins. Like I said before, you can use an app called Habitica, which I just use to gamify my life, or you can use any number of to-do lists like Notion or even a notes app or anything like that. But you need to track concrete things, because then you can celebrate the small wins. And this doesn't have to be some grandiose things, but you can recognize it. Like for me, when I was doing my social media marketing agency, I was going for a long time without a client. And I was thinking, you know what, maybe if I put a reward to getting my first client, then maybe I'll actually get it. So instead of champagne, because I wasn't old enough to drink, I got tea. I got a chai tea at the grocery store, and I said, I will not open this box of chai tea until I get my first paying client. And what do you know, about 3 weeks later, money landed in my account and I could actually drink that tea. That tea is actually still in my house. I only drank it once, so if my parents didn't drink it, it's still there, and I will probably enjoy another cup of tea when I get home. But I want you to remember that discipline is not an on and off switch. It's a continuum that you keep improving on daily. I have fallen into way too many pitfall traps of me seeing a motivational video at 3 o'clock in the morning and being like, tomorrow I am going to do this, and I end up only doing one thing and it never really works out. And I still stay up really late. And soon you will find yourself starting to become someone who doesn't hate structure all that much. I used to hate structure. I couldn't focus on one thing in a particular time period, and I used to be on YouTube a lot. But now I can get up early whenever I want, and I'm starting to really love the daily habits that I have every day. Imagine yourself 3 months from now, even 6 months from now. You think your future self will look back on today that you're watching this video? Will today be the day that you turn your life around? Everyone has that day. For me, it was literally January 1st of my sophomore year when I was 16 years old. I watched an Iman Gadzhi video, and from there my life completely changed. So will this be that video for you to take action and gain control back in your life, to gain that freedom that you've always wanted, to get that physical body that you've always wanted, to get those habits that you've seen so many people have online and that you've always wanted for yourself? Remember, every time you beat that resistance in your brain, you are leveling up. And soon enough, those quests that you do daily will start to feel normal. And that's how you know you're leveling up. If you enjoyed today's video, please consider subscribing once again and liking the video for me to see that you are liking these videos. And comment down below, what videos do you think I should do next? And if you're part of the 16% of people who watch to the very end of this video, I congratulate you because you want to take your life into your own hands. Please comment down below and I will see you on the next video. Bye-bye.